Hello and welcome back to Pantheon of the Geeks, and welcome back to part 5 of our Core Space Firstborn Kickstarter unboxing. And the final part as well, because this is the last bits.
Aww.
And I've enjoyed doing all this,
Yeah.
but we have the Patrol Class Shuttle, and we just thought we'd show you with the pen and the other cards that we got as well as part of the Kickstarter. Plus these little rings that we showed right at the beginning. There you go. These are just for going on bases. Can I remember the ones you got from Cool Mini or not?
Oh yeah, for Zombicide.
Yeah, they're just these ones. Actually, these are more rubber. The Zombicide ones are a bit
The more sturdy. Yeah.
Yeah, these are plastic. Sorry, these are rubber.
Rubber. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's those. If you don't want to paint your models, they come quite handy.
Yeah, so you can play. So like, one team can be red and the other team can be yellow. So yeah.
So yeah, that's mainly what they're for. We'll be painting the models. I might come around maybe picking out objectives or NPCs or status effects or something like that. But yeah, that's all there for. We have these cards. These are the summary cards.
Oh, okay. I'll run a little packy.
Yeah. So instead of I'll let Claire open that. Instead of having to refer to the book all the time, if there's ones that you commonly use, you can keep them out on cards.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we have a pen, which is it's just one of those dry marker pens, but with the Core Space logo.
Right.
They were all just stuff that was in the Kickstarter. I don't know if those few are available later. I think everything else is. Core Space. Can be complete now, you see.
There we go. Cards. So you've got range skills, cunning skills, stealth.
Are they double-sided?
Oh, they are, aren't they? I do apologise.
Alright,
I will restart. We'll restart. So that's the range to skill.
Yeah. What's that one? Close assault. Cool.
That's the cunning skill
Cunning
one.
and cunning 2.
Yep. We've got stealth 1 and 2, I would assume.
Correct.
Yep. Vocational skills 1 and 2.
Negotiation, barter and training. And we have slippery and hack and grab.
Vocation skills 3 and 4.
Engineering, scientific mind. And then we've got endurance skills on the other side.
Oh, right. Okay. Hunter.
So these like specific skills. They're both hunter.
That's crewman.
Crewman. Yeah. These are all the ones that are basically in the book, aren't they?
Yeah. Soldier.
Yeah.
Tech. Augment.
Tech. Augment. So all these are going to be double-sided.
Yeah.
With the same thing.
Machine.
More machine now than man.
Merg. Sorry. Merg. Oh, of course, yeah. Management.
Need that for work.
Operations.
I need that for work.
Yeah. Engineer.
I'd rather doing that for work.
Oh, not scientist.
Or that.
We've got scavenger as well. Scavenger A. And scavenger B.
Scavenger and B.
Oh, there's differences in them. Marine.
That's one of the new ones.
Oh yeah, isn't it? Oh, looks like a new one. Crewman. And machine.
Another machine one.
Yeah. Oh, tech.
Are these just duplicates?
I wonder if they are, yes.
Yeah, because you can end up having like some.
Infiltrator, that's a new one.
Infiltrator.
Hacker. Outlander. Mech soldier. Ganger. Bossman.
Bossman, that's new. I'm sure it is.
Bossman is. Bob A. Feet.
Bounty Hunter.
Mercenary.
Merc.
Helmsman. Skipper.
Skipper.
And we've got basic ship upgrades and
Alright, so these are
whatever on the other side, yeah.
like cheat sheets for the
NPC
ship.
activation and action.
Oh, that's quite handy.
That's quite good.
That one's a good one.
Yeah. Civilian and security activation.
Oh yeah.
Worker and scavenger activation.
Let's see if we can get some covers for these.
Yeah, definitely.
They're nice though, they're nice and glossy. So
Yeah.
they will keep clean.
Knowledge and firstborn dice.
No, like anything else, it's paper or card, it will wear.
Cerberus and Talos dice.
These are they're quite nice to feel. They don't feel cheap. They've got like
No, definitely not.
rigid feel to them. Right, on to the shuttle.
Okay. Let's see. Come on. I got it then, the end of it. Two cardboard screws there, and your booklet with
Patrol Cross Shuttle. So just the
is that the add-on booklet kind of thing.
overview, development, damage countermeasures, processing sequence, junkyard challenge.
Cool.
I'm not sure if that's the same one. I thought it was get to the shuttle and the other one, or is it in here?
I can't remember.
Operation evac.
Without getting the other one out, I can't actually remember.
I'm not sure if they are. I don't think they are the same.
Doesn't look like it.
Might be new missions. Oh, they are.
But actually, yeah, turn that over. That's got a different. That's got the
I would assume they're
Firstborn.
new missions.
and the mining as well. So it must
I'm
be.
sure it's going to get to the shuttle. The mission. Right, cool. Good to know.
Oh, what?
So we have ourselves some data credits, mission shuttle, all the shuttle parts. From memory, it looks pretty much the same sort of layout.
It looks like it, yeah.
Right. Cool. It's a case of punching it all out then. We'll do that. And then we'll come back. We do have a small cargo crate as well.
Oh, cool.
I might just stick that to the other two. Yeah, why not? Right, we'll be back in a moment. So we've taken off all the pieces. So the first piece we're going to start with is the large piece. Which is this bit here. So this is the underside of the ship, the bottom. This is the inside of the ship. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be curving these sides up. And like all the other folding, take it slow. You don't want to overfold this one either. It's going to be at this sort of angle when it's finished. And I'm going to fold here. I'm also leaving the windows in. These are all separate, these windows. Leaving them in for now. I can always take them out later. Although from having the other shuttle, they are a bit of a pain to get back in, some of these small ones. On the shuttles, more than anything else, because the other buildings and stuff, like the windows can be broken and taken out, and then people can shoot through as though there's no glass. So on the shuttles, I feel it's a bit different. And I'm really sort of tempted to replace these with just like clear acetate or something.
That would be cool, actually. Yeah.
More than the buildings. I've
Yeah.
considered it with the buildings and stuff, but I think I'd leave the buildings so the windows can be put in and taken out. But on these, very tempted to do the other.
I think with the buildings, you kind of jump through the windows that you've shot or smashed or whatever. So putting acetate in them, kind of like you wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to take it out unless there was a way you could do it.
Oh yeah, you could always magnetise it or something, I suppose. Like, you'd have to make little frames.
Yeah.
And then magnetise them. That'd be a bit of a pain, but it would work. Yeah. This part here gets bent up, and that window wants to come out already. And this part here will then be bent this way. And this will make the nose and the cockpit. And then there's a bit at the end that needs to be bent, which is a bit stiff because it's a very small bend.
I remember that bit from the last one. We had trouble with that one, didn't we?
Yeah, it's an insert part. This is what will keep it shut. Okay. I slipped out my hand. Right. So this is one of the internal struts. This is another internal strut, and this is another strut. So this is the back door, and these struts around the edge are what's going to hold this in place. This is the central one, which is just basically struts. These are going to go in these holes in the centre and hold this in place. And then we have this one, which is going to hold this one in place. And this has got the door through to the cockpit. So we'll just start at the back. Make sure we've got this the right way around. I'm going to feed this into here. And into the... I don't want to tighten it up just yet. I just want to make sure that's this is all going to go right. Because what we have to do, the complicated bit about this is fitting all three at the same time. So let's, oops. This one needs to go on here. Yeah, and this, yeah, I think I was putting it on there. There's two sets of clips on this and this one. It's the inside clips you want to be using, not the outside clips. The outside clips for the wing. I'll try and push this in. Convince it wants to go in, coax it in. Speak to it. Be the cardboard whisperer. Come on. There we go. And then I'll hold that one beveled side out. Like that. So now we have to fit all these at the same time. So we're going to roll this over. We need to fit, these are at an angle as well. That is on purpose. We need to roll them over so they all fit in. And we need to feed these in at the same time. So I'm going to do it off camera to avoid all the swearing. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. So after some persuasion, pretty solid. We've got our bit on. Next, we have these front parts. So far this is identical to the other shuttle. We did do a video on the other shuttle.
We did.
But I don't want to disappoint people by not doing this video. Because they'll be watching it and going, please finish the video. I want to know how to put this shuttle together. So, yeah, these windows just want to pop out as I'm pulling them. I might lose my temper and just pull them out eventually. What I'm actually going to do is, because that's quite a... Problem is, it looks like it's a normal fold, but because these don't really exist, these windows, there's no strength to it. So all these little bits are wanting to fold before that does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold these against the table using a ruler or something, or a pair of scissors, or something with a flat metal line. Just try and pull it up. And then I'm going to fold the other side. And I'll be back after I've done the folds. But that's what you need to do next, is fold these two. Okay. Okay, right. Well, myself and the windows have had crosswords, so they literally all fell out while I was doing that. Or at least most of them fell out, so I just pulled them all out. So now we bent it into about that shape. That should give us enough play to fit it in. So what we want to do, there is a slidey bit at the bottom and there is a hooky bit at the top there. So if we hook it at the top and then push it in the bottom, that should be the easiest way to put it in theory. Feels okay. And the same again, hook it around. And then I can slide that in. Yeah, so one side went in easier than the other. That'll just be the way it's being cut. There we go, we're in. I'll pull it down to make sure. So now we have the outer sides of the cockpit in place. And if we look, we can see that this should bend over there, like that, and then this should bend there, and then clip onto there eventually. So I'm just going to take this away and bend it properly, so it all fits in place, and that's the bit of window that's going to come out, so it may as well come out. It'll make it easier, to be honest, to do the next bit. Line it all up. So I'm going to fold that into place. Once I've done that, it's now a case of getting the cockpit in. It's one of the two things we need to definitely do now. First off, what I would do is put the cockpit in and not glue it, just so you've got an idea of where this goes. It's going to go in here, and it lines up along those lines. It's a bit faffy to put in, but it gives you an idea of where you're going to be putting it when you've glued it. So it's kind of like dry fitting. The reason why I do that now is because of the other part that's going to go in there, which is this. This is the bottom part of the seat. These are all the parts to the seat, which we will glue in a moment. This will be going at the bottom, and then these are literally just to give it height. They'll stack on top of each other to make a cylinder, and then the seat gets stuck on top of that. I think that's the bottom there. So when this is in, you'll be able to take the seat in and out if you want. So you can always like put a person in there, because you won't be able to fit them in with the seat in. But what we want to do is measure up about where we want the seat to go. So we're going to glue the seat together, and we're back in a moment. Okay, so we have our seat glued together. So the square bit at the bottom, the three circles, and then the seat on top, which gives us this. Make sure this is completely dry before doing the next part, because we're just going to dry fit this into here. So I see approximately where I want that to go. Actually, that wouldn't be far off. Yeah, that's going to give us plenty of sort of coverage there. So pull this out. You can see that this is pretty much at the front. That's fine. So this is where we're going to glue this bit in, right at the front. I'm going to do that bit now. There, let's see if it's in there quite nicely. I'll take it out just in case there's some loose glue on there. Next thing is to put this into place. So that's going to take a bit more fiddling to to get this lined up. But what I'm going to do is just run a bit of glue down either side and then put these in. So we're back in a minute. Okay, so with the console in place, there are these other two side consoles. These fit awkwardly into here. They are optional if you want to put them in or not. I did on the other shuttle, so I probably will on this one. But they are a pain in the proverbial to get them to sit in, because obviously you've got everything in the way, and what you want them at as is sort of like sat like that, but in that little groove in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I might see if I can push this up and keep this glued in as well. So I don't think it needs to actually, I might leave it loose, just in case someone doesn't fit right at the front. I'm going to leave that bit loose, because it should clip in at the end.
I seem to remember it doing that.
Yeah, it will. It'll do that. If it doesn't, then I'll do it. But we obviously want to get access into the little cockpit. So, I'm going to go ahead and glue these in. I'm also going to bend these around. So these are thrusters that are going to sit under here. There's one on either side, and it consists of one of these and two of these parts. So the first thing we're going to do is bend them around. They have like folds in there. So we're going to take our time, bend them around. Not going to rush this. They are quite stiff. A lot of the folds on this have been quite stiff, to be fair. It all depends on the exact cut and everything of the one you've got. But the shape we want it to be is to match that sort of angle. So I'm going to go ahead and bend that one round, and then there's another one for the other side. Once they're bent round, these need to be glued in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've put in the inside consoles. Hopefully you can see them in there. The best way I found to do them is actually glue the short end and then a little bit of this end and hold it by the thinnest end and sort of drop it in and fiddle with it until you get it into like a nice place. That was actually easier than the last time I did it. I think because I actually just glued that bit and that bit and then held the other bit. So that is that in place. This is one of the side engines. You can see I've glued in the two fans. I have glued them in at a very slight angle, just so it looked cool, but it also meant that these parts were not jutting out over the top of these parts, because if they do, it's going to protrude when you stick it on the edge. So that is the engine for the other side, this side. So I'm going to go ahead and build the other engine, and then when it's ready, it goes onto there. It sticks on. So I will stick them both on the sides, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we have our side engines on now. And the next thing, we have the roof. And the roof also has this sort of vent system, which is similar in respects. It's going to have two of these little bits in it, but it only bends in two places. Either end. Pinch that down. Pinch that down as well. Okay. So now we have that bent into this shape, and then we have these little vents which are going to go into there. And again, you've got some freedom of where you position these. They just both need to go in, and then they'll go on top of here. once they're glued in. Whichever end does it get? Just go that way around. Sounds right. Oh no, doesn't. Go that way around. Like that. So that'll be glued over the top of this red area. It does sort of match the shape of this, so you know which way around it is. So I'm going to glue that together. In addition, we have the wing pieces, which consist of these two little bits there, one of these, and then the actual wing itself. This gets glued over there to add some 3 dimensions, as does that glue onto there, and then the other one glues opposite it on the underside, and that's that wing. That needs repeated on the other wing as well. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. Okay, so we have our roof section finished, and that is going to go on here. So the middle bit slots over that central struts. And that should fit in there to hold that in place. If we've got it in right, like that. Awesome, so now for the wings. Okay, so these are the wings, and these will just slot in to there. And to there. Like that. And essentially that is your shuttlecraft done. Looks pretty cool. It's essentially exactly the same as the original shuttlecraft. It's a different print, so it looks a bit different. It's not, I think the other one's in sort of a beigey colour, beigey brown all over. This obviously got reds as well as like white on it as well. So it looks a little bit fancier. And the wings are different as well. The wings are of a different configuration. There we go. There is the shuttle. Pretty good. Kind of like that. What I probably will do is I'll probably glue this bit at the front so this bit doesn't flap up every time I open that. And sort of like push it into place a bit better, I think. That's the only thing I'll do for that. I need to put the seat in and faff around with these for hours to try and get them staying. Honestly, of all of the windows, the ones in the shuttle are the most useless. The other windows into the buildings are really good, but the ones in the shuttle, not so much. This shuttle's no different. The last thing is actually this little crate. So this is the same sort of crate that we get in the rest of the sets. This one just happens to be orange. I'll just put the wrong bit on there, never mind. Have I? Maybe I haven't. So we should have, yeah, that. Yeah, I did put it wrong. So these are, got that. That's going to go on that. And then this is going to go on here. Like that. We then have the lid, we have the bottom, and we have the insert for the lid. So we glue a little bit onto there, we stick that into the bottom. We glue this into that square there, and then we have the proper lid, just like any other crate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, back in a second. And there is the finished crate. Like any other crate. Whoosh. And there is the shuttle. I have glued the 2 bottom parts down there, and that fits in a lot better up here now. That stopped it from pushing out. It will actually just sit there like that. So that's pretty cool. Yes, I do think that does need some acetate going in those windows and replacing the windows that are actually there. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm very happy with that. And I'm actually very happy with the Kickstarter, to be honest. It's all as promised, as expected. In some ways a little bit better. So yeah, so hopefully that's the end of these 5 unboxing videos. But hopefully we'll see you again soon, because I do intend to probably go through the Learn to Play in a video, and then maybe even some of the missions. So stay tuned for that. But for now, you guys take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.